I'm Ange from KZN Top Business and Business Sense. This evening on our webinar, we are talking to some very, very important customers from Mobi Claw 911. As previously, we have with us Theresa and Wynand. Welcome, Theresa and Wynand.
Thank you,
Good
Ange.
evening.
We're going to talk to Charles and Colette in a minute. I just want to welcome Willem, our special guest from ER24. Hello, Willem. Nice to see you.
Good evening, Ange. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking something a little bit different. We're going to do a topic called real emergencies and real heroes. So we're going to be hearing from the clients themselves, actual events and emergencies that took place. We're going to hear their side of the story, where they come from, what happened. And then we're going to also hear some feedback from Mobi Claw. We're going to hear from the first responders to hear their version of the story, and hopefully everybody's happy at the end of the day. So first up, we're going to chat to Charles. Good evening, Charles.
Hi, Ange. Well, thanks for having me here.
Thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks for sharing your stories and your time. So I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself briefly and tell us where you are calling in from and where your emergency happened, and then tell us a little bit about the incident.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So my name is Charles, surname not important now, but I am based in Pretoria. Strange, it's far from where you think the center of everything is. And I've been a Mobi Claw customer for quite some time. And my experiences haven't been specifically with emergencies relating to crime, but however, medical emergencies more than once. So as young as what I am, I had two elderly parents, and it became very difficult at stages to handle situations. And Mobi Claw was the only way that I could safely, quickly, effectively get my situations across. I had a father that was not doing well and going downhill fast. And the nicest thing was with Mobi Claw is I don't have to think. I don't have to worry. I don't have to look for a number or remember a name. It's the critical thing is all I do is open my app, and my app is on my phone. It's self-explanatory. Open the app, push the button. And I literally think the longest that I ever waited for a phone call back might have been 20 seconds. So the nice part about the whole Mobi Claw thing is I push the button. When they phone me back, they know exactly who I am. I do not have to explain who I am. I do not have to tell them where I am. I don't have to remember things because I'm running with a current emergency in my situation. As it progresses, ER24, absolutely brilliant. By the time the control room has called me, I've explained the situation, and it's been serious. It was, I mean, with my father, before he passed, we had numerous serious emergencies. There is no ways that I can load him in a vehicle. I cannot move him. I do not know the situation. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's internal bleeding. It's all those things. I can't deal with it. I can only handle the circumstance around me. And ER24, Mobi Claw response, or the call center has actually phoned me back, told me what's happening, this is going on. ER24 has phoned me and said, listen, en route, they know where I am. They've got my address. All I have to do, by the time they're coming down the road, they've already hit the siren. I've opened the front gate and they're in and they've done what they have to do. It is not an easy situation to be, and I'm not a medical person, I'm a technical person, and I'm trying to control a situation around me. I do not have to explain to a control room who I am. It's been a situation, you know, when I signed up, they've got my registration, they've got my address, they've got my next of kin, they've got everything about me. In an emergency, I don't have to remember my bakkies or bakkies. I've got more than one vehicle. I don't have to remember the registrations. I don't have to remember anything. They have got it and they are under control. And the voice that comes over the phone when they speak to you is the reassuring voice that you get that says, we've got you. Just do what you have to do. They're phoning me to ask me the stats, what's happening, what's the situation, is it going better, is it going worse? That feedback is being given to ER24 without my knowledge, all happening in the background. And take it, I'm in Pretoria. I couldn't care where anybody is sitting. It is under control. The ER24 people, I've had various staff members arriving here in their twos, one driver, one paramedic, and absolutely professional in every time. And that was only with my father. I've had my mother, the same thing, and I've gone through the same situations. It's not easy. I can't pick them up. I can't carry them. All I do is clear the path and get them in, and they do what they have to do. I don't have to think. When I look again, they've got the medical cards, everything at the hospital. All I have to do is pick up the last luggage and get to the hospital. It's under control. I do not have to panic about the smallest of situations. You do not have to think. They've got it. They've got you. The amount of calls that I get during the crisis, after the crisis, the feedback, the everything, I cannot fault anything that was said, done, given to me, the service throughout. All you need in an emergency is that friendly voice to say, I've got you. Let's get it done. And yes, it was difficult. It's those situations that make it, you need help. I can phone the neighbor. The neighbor doesn't know the doctor. He doesn't know anybody. Mobi Claw had it all under control. So I hope that answers most of how I felt and what I've been through. I help other people in situations, but in a medical, you need people that know what they are doing. And that's the critical. You don't have to think.
Wow. I think that's amazing feedback, Charles. I think, and I like the way that you say, that voice on the end of the line saying, we've got you, and you can feel comfortable knowing that they've got you because they know what they're doing and you don't have to worry about anything else. Isn't that the best response that you can have?
Yeah, I'm not a number. I'm not just a person that's out there. They know who I am. I know the voice. I know it's like they're actually family, and they've got you. And the calmness that comes across, the saying, we're going to sort it out. The amount of phone calls during the crisis, is it, where are you? Are you improving? Has your situation improved? Has it gotten worse? What else do you need? Not required. I don't have to think, and that's the crisis. I'm saying it in a manner that if your car gets stolen, the average person walks out of a shopping center and your car's gone. They're going to ask you, what's your registration number? What vehicle is it? 90% of people are not going to know. They can't remember that number. I've got more than one vehicle. I cannot remember those registrations. And now you must put out the lookout for what? It's going to take me 10 minutes or 15 or half an hour to find the documents that I need. I don't have to think. That's the most important fact that I can tell you. And that's how I feel about it. In that emergency, I'm dealing with a lot of things, trying to keep your parents alive, and other people have got you. And ER24, kudos to them. Every single staff member that has been in this house, I've had crews that have arrived and knew exactly the house. They knew who I was. I wouldn't recognize them, but they'd been here before during the course of our trials that we had. So absolutely brilliant, everybody. I don't know if I can say it any differently with more emotion or passion, but it is.
I can see that. I can see that you're emotional about it. And I think at the time when you are so emotional and under so much stress, it seems that you take great comfort in knowing that Mobi Claw know how
Correct,
to help you,
100%.
and they know
100%.
how to make you feel more comfortable while
Yes.
giving you feedback throughout the process, all of those lovely things. I think
Mhm.
that's an amazing testimonial, you guys. Thank you, Charles. I can tell that you're quite emotional about your stories, and that makes it very sincere. So thank you very much for sharing with us. I do
I
appreciate your
just want to
time.
say it wasn't a one time. It wasn't a one
Right.
time. It was a series of events over a couple of years. And any person, you can only control what you can control. And obviously, in a moment of crisis, emotions become I can't find the right words, but it holds you down because you're trying to balance, and the dogs are barking, and you can't have to deal with those things. And Mobi Claw just dealt and deals with everything. And I, up to 2 months ago, I used them again, and that was my mom, and I had to get her to hospital, and I can't pick her up. I'm just going to hurt her more. And what is the actual problem? We don't know. The medics must tell me, are we moving? Aren't we moving? Let's get it going. They know what they're doing. I don't have to know that. So it's critical to have the right people in your team. That's what it is. And I say that from the heart.
That's
Okay.
amazing. Thanks so much for sharing your story, and to Mobi Claw, Mobi Ventures, and ER24. What a great story to share. So Vena, do you have any comments to add to that?
Geez, I can't top what Charles had said. Charles, thank you for all of those things that you have said. I remember your cases, plural, that had taken place. And, like you've said, once you're in a situation where, let's call it a medical emergency or any emergency for that fact, is that general or common thinking goes out of the back door. Who do I call? What am I supposed to do? Your general thinking just disappears. That's where Mobi Claw fills that gap, where we take that panic out of your situation. We do the thinking for you. The guys have got SOPs in the control room. They've been trained by trained staff as to what to do in any emergency. But the most important thing is to be calm and reassuring. But over and above that is also having Mobi Claw having the relationships with our service providers, such as ER24. They national service, and that's why we partnered up with them, because they can reach you in Pretoria, they can reach us here in Durban, or if you're in Cape Town, wherever you might be. And we get good reviews of their services that they give to our clients, and that's why we stick with them. That's why we use them. In any industry, I was in the police for 10 years. You always hear the bad cases, the bad news or bad incidents that have taken place. You never ever hear the positive side of it, the good stuff. And that hearing this from you, Charles, it's amazing. It actually gives, you must give yourself a pat on the shoulder for saying all of those stuff. Because I can go back to the control room and say, guys, well done on the situations that you've dealt with Charles. It goes a long way, and I'm sure there's many other cases where the guys have done excellent work. It's just sometimes you don't hear about those cases, so that's why it's lucky to hear it. But thank you. I hope everything is better at home, especially with your mom and that. But we just the press of a button away.
Okay, that was amazing, Charles. What a story! And kudos to everybody in the room. And Willem, hey, there's a reason why you were here today. Okay, so we're going to chat to Colette now. Colette is also a client of Mobi Claw 911. And Colette, if you could just tell us a little bit about where you are geographically and about your incident.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity, first of all, to join this webinar, because first, always, I believe that you have to give credit when it's due, so this is a perfect platform to do that. So my name is Colette Oberholzer, and I'm based in Durban in Cowies Hill. Sure, if you ask me how long I've been with Mobi Claw, I'm gonna lie, I don't know. I can't remember how long, but it's been a while, been a couple of years, and I've used them on numerous occasions, medically and through a crime incident or a break-in incident. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on the different incidents, but there's two specific incidents that stands out for me. which was my father, 2nd of June last year, 2024. He lived with me in the house after my mom passed away a couple of years ago. And yeah, so my dad was in the house living with me. I looked after him. He was about 84 at that stage. And I walked into his bedroom the Sunday morning, and he had a massive stroke, which was absolutely horrible. You know, you walk in and you get such a fright, because you can see what's just happened, and you definitely hit a panic. And just hold a sec. Sorry, I'm webinar. Sorry, you have to cut this out.
Okay. That's all right. This happens.
Sorry.
That's
My
okay.
tenant didn't realize. Sorry
That's
about
fine.
that, guys.
No problem.
Yeah, so you walk into the bedroom and you know that this is something big that's just happened. And you know, exactly like Bainan said and Charles said, is you go in an absolute panic. You know, this is the last thing you expect, because you don't plan these things. The previous night we were still sitting and chatting to each other and watching TV together. And now the next morning you walk in there and you know he's had a massive stroke. He can't talk, he can't walk, he can't even get out of bed. And you genuinely hit a blank. So if you've got to try and remember ambulances numbers, or family numbers, or contact numbers, I mean, all these type of things these days are all saved on your phone under contacts. None of us remember contact numbers anymore. So the only thing that's in your mind, because your mind is trained to, if there's an emergency, press the Mobi Claw button, which is there. It's just absolutely the push of a button, which is amazing, like everybody else is saying too. And you don't have to do anything further. So in that case, I pressed the panic button, and it was not even a minute or two, and ER24, they obviously sent the ambulance, and the ambulance came. And it was difficult because my house is in such a way, like there's a bit of a second floor, and so they had to try. And when they arrived, they was so quick. Absolutely, the response was phenomenal. And they had to try and get my dad onto the stretcher and down all these steps and up steps to get him in an ambulance. And Mobi Claw was on call with me all the time. Did they arrive? Are they there? Are you okay? This is the next step. Don't worry. That kind, absolutely calm and kind voice on the other end of the phone is what you need when you are frantic, because you do, you know, you sound like a bit totally out of sorts and in an absolute panic mode, but they stay calm, and that's what you need, because you know that there's somebody to talk to on the other end. And like you said, it's a real person. It's not a call center. It's a genuine person at the other end who is trying to really help you. You know, so the professionalism and the quick response is just what you need in emergency situations. And just their willingness to help makes such a tremendous difference in a stressful time like this. And what stands out for me is the fact that when it comes to Mobi Claw, you can see the passion when they do things. And you can see they love what they do. You aren't just a number, like Charles also said. They are there to want to help you. That is at that very moment, when they get that call, that's their first priority. And yeah, they and their dedication just to handle any situation, you know. So, and that's just special. You don't find that these days. You just don't find it, you know. And just to quickly jump to the second incident, which was, I was sitting here at home. I do work from home on and off, and sitting here, I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday morning in August, and my helper was at home. My boys were at school and varsity, and me and Happy Girl were sitting here, and about 11:30, I said to her, listen, I am going to quickly fetch John at Varsity College, and at that very moment, I left the home. It was probably not even a minute that I left home. And Happy Girl phoned frantically to say that there's an intruder in the house, right in the house, which was a very, very scary experience. And I thought, but how's that possible? I was at home now a minute ago. So obviously, just to bring a bit of the story into it, is a guy climbed up about 2 stories and into my son's bedroom window, and he had a field time packing and gathering all sorts of objects and stuff and clothing and etc. But he probably did it while I was already in the house or still in my home. Because we were here the whole morning and that would have taken time. But anyway, so as I left, he obviously came downstairs, and that's when she faced him. And she went into panic. She also pressed the panic button, but I spoke to her, and she was just absolutely beside herself, hysterical. And I knew something went wrong. I knew something happened. She just said, intruder, intruder. And I'm driving, and all I could think is Mobi Claw. Press that button, which I did. And I promise you, I was a minute away from home, but they were at my house before I even drove back. That is how quickly it was. In that time, in that short space of time, they contacted the police, the security companies, everybody that had to be here. And wow, because I was not far from home and they were here before I even got back. And what that just showed me is that no matter where you are, I was on the road. I could have been an hour away, 2 hours away, wherever. I pushed that panic button, and they answered, and they sent people out. They know exactly where I am, where I stay, where the incident happened. So you can absolutely use Mobi Claw no matter where you are. You don't have to be at your home address, and that's what makes it so wonderful, because things can happen on the road. While you're driving, you can have a flat tire, you can have a hijacking, so many things can go wrong, but really you just press that button and they're there. And they came and they were here and they did everything they could. They chased the guys. The effort that they've put in to make us feel safe, and that peace of mind that, sure, we're okay. Happy Girl is okay. The guy did flee. They went after him. He was caught, and I think he's appeared in court already. Was just a really, really, really awesome experience. And that peace of mind that they are in your house now and they are here to protect you. And just like I said, the willingness, it's just knowing that I could rely on their support, brought confidence and calmness and clarity in this mind of mine that was like all over the place, at that very moment. And like I said, they phone around for ER24 and for the police, and so you don't have to do anything. That's what's so wonderful about, because you can't even think straight at that very moment. So they just go and organize everything, but it is, I'm just very grateful for them.
But a massive kudos goes to our dispatchers, because at the end of the day, you in your emergency, you online with them.
Yes.
That thin line where they're the ones helping you, reassuring you.
Starts with them. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the comforting voice on the other end of the line.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I think so let's not forget that this all happens at the one push of a button. And Colette, have you got the app on your phone, or have you got an actual remote thingy?
I've got the
on
app
your phone.
On my phone.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think let's talk a little bit more. And Colette, you're welcome to stay online with us, because we'd love your input. We're going to ask Theresa to tell us a little bit more about the two versions of, there's an app on the phone and there's an actual panic button. That a lot of people, I think, if you can have both, that's great. Most people just have one because your phone should be with you all the time. But Theresa's just going to take us through that, and then we're going to do a bit of a live demo. on a response. Okay, Theresa, over to you.
Thanks, Ange. Again, I'm just going to reiterate how touching it is to hear our clients' testimonials. It's just proven to me even more how Mobi Claw is making a difference in so many people's lives. And we're there to help make a difference. We're there to help people in their most critical moments and in their time of need. Our goal is to help save as many people as we possibly can anywhere in South Africa. And it's just incredible to hear how we've been able to help just Colette and Charles, and that's one of thousands of clients that we have on our system. And literally by one push of a button, I must say that a lot of people don't understand the value of a service like Mobi Claw or 911 until something happens. So if you have been thinking of joining Mobi Claw, now's your time. Don't wait. Life is unpredictable. Anything can happen when you least expect it. And as Mobi Claw and the professionalism behind our service, we go with you wherever you go, and it's for any unexpected life-threatening emergency. Again, life is unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. So whether it's a medical, criminal, accidents, fires, if you're with someone or witness anything, you push one button with Mobi Claw 911, and we will manage and coordinate getting the correct first responders to help you as quickly as possible, because that's what we specialize in. We specialize in emergencies. As you can see, the team's extremely passionate, and our biggest motto is don't tell me, show me, because actions speak louder than words. And as you've heard tonight, our system works so well. When you need help quickly, you don't have to think. Time is imperative to get help to you quickly. So when you have that unexpected emergency and you need help quickly, like you've heard tonight, you go through brain mush. You can't think clearly. You don't have time to look for numbers, dial for numbers, stay on hold, explain where you are, give street names, etc. That can waste a good 20-30 minutes. And when time is imperative to get help quickly, you push one button, and as you've heard, within 30 seconds to a minute, you've got a call back from a professional control room operator who's going to assist you passionately, calm you down, and get the correct first responders out to help quickly. And as Ange said, I'm going to do a demonstration now of the 2 life-saving solutions that we actually offer that you can subscribe to at any point. So I'm going to start off with the app on the cell phone. So I'm going to just quickly show you. So here's my cell phone. You can see that I keep the Mobi Claw app icon right at the bottom. So if I do scroll to my next page, you'll see that it'll stay at the bottom of the phone. All I need to do is tap on the icon and you'll see a red button will show. It also gives you your coordinates within a few meters, which means we can see where you are anywhere in South Africa. And you literally hold that red button down until it turns green, and that's it. As easy as that. In your most critical moments, that's all you need to do. Our control room operator will give us a call back within the next few seconds, and I would then, if I can, answer the phone. I'm going to answer the operator's call, and I'm going to tell them whether it's medical, fire, I've just witnessed a head-on collision, a pedestrian's been knocked down, there's a fire, you name it. And they will manage and coordinate getting the correct first responders to help, because we've got the network across South Africa all linked in with geofencing when you need help quickly. So that's how everything works on our side, and that's how the app works. They're busy phoning me back now, as you can see, and I'm just going to answer the phone. State your emergency. Hi, we're just doing a demo test. Everything's fine. No problem. So Angie, you would have heard her ask me for my cell phone number. That cell phone number is your security code. So should you have a suspect in your house with a gun to your head, let's hope it never happens, you can give the wrong number or no number at all, and they will know that you're in a critical situation, and we'll escalate that call to law enforcement to get them to come and help you as quickly as possible. That is why we ask for the cell phone number, to ensure that you are safe and there's no problems on your side. The other life-saving solution is, you can see a little mobile device. This little mobile device that you see is actually a cell phone. It's got a registered SIM card. It's two-way communication. It roams between MTN and Vodacom towers. So yes, it does also rely on signal, but most of the time there's no problem when it comes to signal. It's got listen-in functionalities, two-way communication, and it's also water resistant. So you'll find a lot of kids get this for their elderly because they're worried that their parents are going to fall in the shower. They've got no way for calling for help. And this little device can help save your life within minutes. So you'll see a little SOS button there on the front of the device. All you'll need to do is hold that button down until you feel a vibration. It's going to send an alert through to our control room. And again, it's going to pick up who you are. It's going to pick up where you are. And like Wynand was explaining earlier, it will give your whole personal profile. Now, that personal profile will speak for you when you can't. And it's actually helped so many people where we know what medical age you're on, what medical history you have, what allergies you have, who your emergency contacts are, your locations that you may be in. And that just helps us do our job even better to help you in your most critical moments. And again, like I said, this little device is water resistant. But what's going to happen now is control room will phone back to this device. There's little speakers at the back of the device, and they are trained to listen in for 10 seconds first. If they hear screaming, shouting, and distress on the other side of the line, they are not going to speak to you. They're going to know it's criminal related. Again, they're going to escalate it to our law enforcement personnel to get them to come and help you as quickly as possible anywhere in South Africa so we can help you in your time of need. So they'll phone back to this device shortly, and then I'll just show you how it works.
That's amazing.
Hi, we're just doing a demo test. Everything is fine.
No problem at all, ma'am. Can you just confirm your password and the issue for security reasons?
Yeah, sure. It's 079 239 8890. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
And there you have it, Ange. I must reiterate,
Yeah.
80% of our calls that come through are medical, and a lot of people have their incidences happen away from home. It doesn't happen in your household normally. From experience and our stats that we've got today, I'm sure Wynand can explain further, but a lot of our incidences we deal with actually are away from your comfort zone. You're in an unfamiliar area and you're panicking and you need help quickly. Mobi Claw 911 is your answer. And we encourage everybody to join rather late than never. So it definitely can help save your life, your family lives, or even a friend's life. So we can help save your loved ones as quickly as we can.
Wow. That's really amazing. Colette, did you know about that small device?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to get one.
So I think
Sure,
as
that nifty little thing
females,
that-
yeah, isn't it? I didn't understand that it was an actual little cell phone type of device, which makes a lot of sense. But I think also as women in South Africa or globally, how handy it is to have something like that because, you know, I mean, I've recently started jogging and it's quite nerve-wracking to go by yourself. You're often wondering,
Yeah.
oh, you know, what's happening. You know, women get snatched into cars and it's just very hectic out there for us ladies. So I would just like to mention at this stage that Christmas is around the corner, and this is a really nifty device to give as a present, I would think, to anyone with a son or a daughter or a teenager or even an elderly person. You know, children going out during the holiday season, and we're going to talk about that now, about some holiday safety tips. I think we've got it for now. I think it's a good time to bring up at this stage, going into the silly season and holidays, how to maybe keep these devices close to you and on you at all time, because you're going to tell us now some safety tips for the holidays and the silly season, because things are starting to kick off right now, aren't they?
Absolutely. We've already seen an increase in security-related emergencies as well as medical, fire included. I'm going to ask Willem just now, just to give us some tips on festive season when it comes to going away on holiday in terms of medical preparation. But, you know, when it comes to the holiday season, crime is always on the increase, but there's a reason for that. It's because people have got more money now. Bonuses are being paid out. Companies are having the year-end functions, spending more money. So that generally attracts general crime. Also, when I used to be in the police, this time of the year, crime goes up because of prisons release a lot of the not so serious offenders. to make space for the festive season, the increase in the rest that's going to be made. And that always, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and that is always brings house breakings, general theft, your copper and that. And we've seen it in the Westville area, and then all across the country as well, a massive increase in crime. So if I'm going to start about talking going away. So you want to go to Cape Town or Johannesburg, Pofaddersdorp, wherever you want to go on holiday. It's important that you notify your security company, your alarm company, that you will be going away, subject to you trusting your security company. If you want to let them know that you're going away on holiday. Also, prior to you going away, make sure that your alarm system is functional, that it's working, your beams outside are working, your internal PIRs are working, your system can arm itself. Because usually with security companies, they tend to close shop just before the festive season, or sorry, during the festive season. So technicians won't be readily available. So if you have a fault on the alarm system, you might have to wait up until January to get it resolved. So before then, get your alarm system checked. Your security company can come out and do an assessment of your alarm system. Notify your neighbors. As simple as that. Tell Pete that's next door that you guys are going away, that you'll be coming back on a certain date. Please keep an eye on the house. If you've got what you call it, cameras, make sure your cameras are working. It's always nice to have a camera system that you can access from your phone, from an app. I know there's a lot of different options out there in the market, so definitely look into that as well. And then another important bit is your car going away, long trips. Make sure you get your car serviced. If you haven't had it serviced recently, check your oil, check your tires, make sure there's no side punctures or bulges on the tire walls. Make sure you've got a working jack, that your spare wheel in the vehicle is hardened, that it's not flat. We see a lot of cases where people are traveling on the N2, the N3 going away, and they end up getting a flat tire and they can't replace it because their flat tire is flat. And then another important little bit, trailers. People pulling boats, they don't have spare wheels for the trailers. They have a flat tire on the trailer, then you end up having to get a rollback to come and resolve the issue, and that takes time. A response for a tow truck, you're gonna wait some time. Yeah, so that is mainly when going away. Also, you can notify Mobi Claw 911 if you're clients that you'll be leaving the premises, so that we know if an alarm is activated at your residence or business premises, that we can treat it with importance or as a priority one. Another one that is important is your shopping malls during the festive period, opening and closing times. Your criminals target those specific times due to, one, there's extra money in the shop, and number two, shift change within the police and the security industry. So there's not so much resources out in the field to do crime prevention patrols, and the criminals will take advantage of that opportunity. Then your big CIT vehicles, I'm sure you've seen all over Facebook, CITs are on the increase. I'm not shocked. It is normal this time of the year. Again, a lot of money is being floating around. The criminal element's going to take opportunity and try and do those CIT robberies. Now, your biggest thing is when it comes to CIT, whether the vehicle's traveling on the road or whether the vehicle is parked at the shopping mall, stay away from it, because as soon as those CIT vehicles get robbed, chances are good there will be some form of a shootout. You don't want to be caught in the middle and become collateral damage. So just trying to avoid those if you can. Valuable in cars. Now, I remember remote jamming. Remote jamming was a big issue. Now, this has changed. People are locking their cars. They're pulling on the door handles, cars locked, there's no remote jamming. But they come back, their car has been emptied out. We're still trying to investigate how this criminal group is doing it, but they are getting into the vehicles very quick and easy. There is damages to the locks, and the alarm systems aren't being triggered on the vehicles. So we've seen an increase. We've seen a massive increase in the CBDs area where items are being taken. You know, we always say don't leave valuables sitting in the cars, keep it in the boots, but now the boots are being targeted. So if you can, try and keep the laptop bag on you if you have to. Don't leave it in the vehicle, or just leave it at home. Then we've got a lovely little gang going around. We call them the huggers. So it will be a person, you won't know him from a bar of soap, but he will start talking to you like you're big friends. He wants to hug you and like grip you and see how you're doing. he's distracting you, but at the same time, you've got your phone in your pocket and he's taken your phone off of your pocket. So if someone comes to you that you do not know, they want to get over friendly, shake your hand, do a shoulder charge, you stay away from them. They mainly target males because they can do, they greet males like that. So just avoid them. If they start doing that immediately, just feel for your phone. Make sure your phone is still in your back pocket or in your front pocket, wherever you put it. We've seen a massive increase. Very friendly guys, so you don't expect them to be criminals. I think that is from me in terms of security tips. I can go on, the sky's the limit in terms of security, but an overall awareness is important. Know your surroundings. When you're at a restaurant, know where your exit doors are. In the case of an emergency, how to get out quickly, and always do not sit with your back to the door of a restaurant. That's an old thing of me, that I always want to see the entrance of the door so I can see who's coming in, that I know what's happening. And then criminals, when they come, they usually wear I call them floppy hats, so that they can avoid the cameras in the shopping malls. They'll wear big puffer jackets to hide or conceal firearms, rifles. So just be alert and be aware. Criminal will always spot a vigilant civilian that knows what's going on, and they'll try and avoid the place. But yeah, I think now I'll hand it over to Willem to give us some tips and tricks for the festive season with medical.
Thanks, Wynand. Jeepers, good advice. Hey, I think Theresa just wanted to add something to that.
Yes, Ange, thank you so much. So one thing I'd like to just add on from what Wynand was saying with the handbag situation. So myself as a woman, I make sure, especially in the festive season, I try not to take my handbag to the shopping malls. You get those sling bags where you can put your phone and maybe a card or whatnot in it. Rather have those sling bags that go over your shoulder. It's a lot harder for the suspects to take or snatch and grab your bag away from you and just start running, because to catch them won't be very easy. And then I am the biggest culprit when it comes to this, walking around shopping centers and putting my cell phone in my back pockets. My boss, Mark Myers, has taught me a good lesson. I was shopping in Spa, had my phone in my back pocket, and he came and he snatched it out so quickly, and I knew that it was him. So please try avoid putting your phones in your back pockets. I know it's easy and we all do it, but just try change that habit. Phones get taken like that so quickly. The other thing is I drive alone all the time. I'm a woman on the road. I'm in sales. I'm the national sales rep. So I do a lot of driving. I do checks on my vehicles all the time. But one product that I do not go without, it's called Tire World. Don't know if anyone's heard of it. I keep at least 2 in my vehicle at all times. And if I get a flat tire or 2 at the same time, I can at least just inflate my tires and get to a safe location where I can sort my tires out properly. So that's just one little advice from me. If you are going on long trips, you never know if you're going to get a flat tire or even 2 at the same time. It's always good to just carry Tire World with you. It's really helped me once or twice in quite hectic situations. So it really does work. And I make a habit of carrying pepper spray with me. I'm also a runner, Ange, so I actually run with pepper spray as well as my device on my wrist. So should anything happen, you give yourself that defensible space and time and barrier to just get away. And well, make sure you don't spray it in the wrong direction unless you got the gel one. But I always carry pepper spray with me as often as I can, and just gives me that defensible space should ever I need it. The other suggestion or advice I'd like to give, and I'd like Willem to actually reiterate on this, is it's coming towards the festive season. We are going to have year-end functions. We're going to be in the party mood, and we're going to have a drink or 2. The police and the guys are out full force. So you don't want to get stopped for drinking and driving. They are not going to give you a little slap on the hand and be like, okay, on your way. You'll either have to pay a fine immediately, or you'll be put behind cells for a few days. Not sure how it exactly works, but maybe Willem can just reiterate on that. But be careful if you're going to go out partying and drinking and driving. Rather have someone who's not drinking to drive you home, or take an Uber, or do something just to make sure you guys are on the safe side with that. Thank you, Ange.
And make sure your app is working and your phone is charged.
Correct.
In case we need to call you, right? Okay. And Colette, you and I are going to get those little devices.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, Willem, let's hear from you and ER24 about some holiday tips.
Thank you.
Holiday
Ange.
safety tips, shall we say?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ange. I just want to say thank you, Colette, and thank you, Charles, as well. What amazing feedback. We don't always get to hear all of the feedback. We attend emergencies on a daily basis, and medical services tend to be a very unthankful industry. And it's really actually awesome to hear this feedback and to hear that what we do and what my guys doing out there are making a difference on the end of the day. And that is what our aim is. All right, as we go to holidays, as you said now, first thing is, yes, we'll be doing a lot of travel. We'll be out of our comfort zones. Where we normally are. So the first thing I would say is hand hygiene. So although we're not in COVID anymore, we don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're touching, and we're going to malls and um, bathrooms and stuff that we don't know. So it's always good to carry a little bottle of hand hygiene with you and make sure your hands get cleaned all the time. Together with that, pack a first aid kit for yourself, especially with little plasters, antiseptic wipes, oral rehydration. We are going into summer full force. We're going down to the beaches, we're going to swimming pools, we're going to the bush. So part of your first aid pack as well, make sure you pack some sunscreen, at least a SPF 30 or 50, something that really is going to protect you, because you do not want to end up with sunburn. So much so, sunburn is on the end of the day a first-degree burn, and can land you in hospital if you're not careful with that. With that, make sure you hydrate properly. Lots of water. The first one guilty of that. I don't drink enough water at all. But we all need to make sure when we're driving, drink enough water, hydrate yourself, um, and keep yourself safe. Food and braai, summer season, holiday season, as South Africans, braai is on top of the list of everything. And unfortunately, alcohol goes with that. So make sure you're safe around the braai area. Make sure you braai in a proper braai and not in with uncontrolled fires. Fires can break out quite quickly. Holiday places does have thatched roofs. Many houses does have thatched roofs, and they burn quickly. So we do want to do all of those under control. Keep kids away from those areas, especially small kids that doesn't know what the fire is going to do to them, and let them not learn the hard way. Pool safety as well. Make sure kids have inflatables. Make sure there's always adults around supervising them, and they don't go alone. Here in Durban, we know that's common practice. Down by North Beach, they go in buses, school buses full, and I don't always think to have enough supervisors there for these kids. So just make sure you always have someone supervising the kids. If you have a swimming pool in the yard, make sure it's closed off and there's a gate for kids not to have access to the swimming pool freely, but supervised. And then, of course, traveling on the road. The Mobi Claw app is most probably the best thing that you can do for yourself. One of our biggest challenges, and Colette has said it, and Charles has said it, that they didn't need to say anything, and the guys just rock up at their door because they knew where they are. People are traveling and they don't know. They know they're on the N3, or they know they're on the N2 or the N1 or whatever. But unfortunately, we live in a society where people don't take note of the surroundings anymore because of technology. So they can't remember. I mean, all over the road is boards that will tell you this is the N3 1.6 with all different numbers, but no one takes note of those while you're driving. So if you're on an incident or come across an incident, your Mobi Claw app is really one of the best things that ever could happen, because they are geofenced. The moment you press your Mobi Claw button and it's a medical, myself and all my guys get the same SMS. by pressing a button, it directs us directly to where your emergency is. We already know who you are, where you are, and what's wrong with you. So you don't have to speak to us, and it takes to right where your emergency is. House numbers, people go to hotels, they don't know what the street name is. So that really does help us to locate your emergency. All right. Other than that, know your contact, emergency contacts. Like I said, Mobi Claw, press a button. You don't have to know anything at all. And that is for me.
Okay, well, I think, yeah, we've got lots to think about there. And another thing, guys, just from us is watch your social media. Don't tell everybody where you are and you're away from your house. That's what people make mistakes in doing, don't they? Especially if your house is empty. But I think advice from Mobi Claw is, make sure your phones are updated, get your apps updated, do the tests with Theresa. She's happy to help you. She's going to phone Colette now and sort her out with the remote gadget. And communicate with Mobi Claw because they're happy to help you and happy to test and keep things current, right? So, Colette, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure and hearing your stories and giving the guys kudos. Like they, as you now realize, they don't get the thanks very often because everybody's stressed and emotional and in a panic and in a state. And Willem, I think for you guys, everybody's so confused and
No, absolutely.
they need you to take control of the situation, and that's why you guys are doing such an amazing job. Thanks for taking the time, and thank you to Charles. Theresa, I'm going to leave it to you to wrap up.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ange. Again, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody, especially Colette and Charles, to tell their stories and to reiterate to everybody out there how valuable it is to have a service like Mobi Claw 911 and have the right team behind your emergency when you need help quickly, not knowing when anything's going to happen. So don't wait. Go look up Mobi Ventures, have a look at the system and sign up today. It's never too late to actually sign up to the right company, and always do your homework when you're looking at joining different companies. And thanks to Wynand and Willem for giving all that informative information, and as well to Ange and your team behind Business Sense. We really appreciate this opportunity to just get the word out there to people so they can listen to what we have to say. And I hope people have actually taken something out of this webinar and this interaction with everybody. So I really hope it's helped a lot of people out there. Thank you so much for this.
It's a pleasure.